Hello, this is Arden Kirkland. This screencast is part 2 of 2 to teach you how to add your own data to images on Wikimedia Commons. In the last screencast, I gave you a little introduction to how Wikimedia Commons works. And now we're going to actually add some of our own content into an image. So here we're back with our ambassador's image that we were looking at in the last one. Now the first thing, if we want to add any content, what we really should do next is to log in. So we'll go up here in the corner where it says Login, Create Account, and click there. Now, most of you probably don't already have an account, so you're going to want to click where it says Create an Account. And here you go. It's pretty simple. The first thing you have to do is to type in the wavy text here. This is a way to prove that you're not a spam robot. And then you just fill in the fields here. Create a username. We would prefer, it'll make it easier for us to find you if you use your Vassar username, which is, the first 2 letters of your first name and then your full last name. If you already have an account, or if you want to create an account with a different name, that's fine. You just need to let us know that. So you need to email me and tell me what your username is. Then you create a password, retype the password, put in your email address, and click on Create Account, and you're ready to go. Now, I'm not doing that now because I already have an account, but trust me, it's really easy. Now, I'm going to click on Login since I already have an account. And I'm going to log in. Login successful. Great. Now we're ready to get started. So I'm going to return to the file I was at. Now, what I would like to do is I would like to add some data about the fact that he is wearing a jerkin. Now, in order to see what other people have done with that, it might be helpful for me to do a search on jerkin and see if there's already any content in here for that. So I'm going to do a search for jerkin. Okay. No, I did not mean Jardin. I meant jerkin. So you'll see there are already 6 images that have the word jerkin as a part of their description in some form. And you'll also see that not all of them are related to fashion. So this is showing, first of all, it is showing that some content's coming up, which is great, but it's also showing that it might be helpful to create a category for jerkin to show the specific kind of jerkin that I mean, a costume history object. So now let's go back to our image, and among other things, we know now that we want to create that category. But that's actually going to be the last thing we do. We're going to start with the most fun one, which is to add a note. So right under the picture here, you'll see this little button for add a note. I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to scroll back up to get to where I want to be. Okay. So it's showing me the boxes that I've already put in there, or that other users have already put in there. I'm going to create another box now. Now you'll see how the cursor has changed to a little kind of crosshairs mark. And I'm going to make a new box. And I'm going to write my note. And I'm going to say save. Now sometimes, a couple times when I've done this, I've found, let me go, I'm going to click edit to show you that box again. A couple of times that I did this, when I did it, it said, it had a little error message that came up that said there was a problem. It was probably some little bug in their software. But it made it very simple for me to copy my text and put it into the wiki markup for the file, which is what we're going to look at next. So just to warn you, if that does come up, just kind of follow follow the instructions. Basically, it gives you an option to copy the little code of text that comes up. It takes your text and turns it into a code to define where the box is placed. And then it makes it very easy for you to insert that into the page for the wiki. So don't be afraid if that happens. I'm going to click cancel here. Okay, but here's my note there now. But you can see as you start to add a lot of notes, it might get a little confusing for some people as to what is referring to what. So it might make more sense to add into the description. So to do that, this is where we start getting a little bit more complicated. Now we're going to go up to the top to the little tab where it says Edit, and we're going to click on that tab. So now instead of seeing our image, we're seeing the code for all the text on that page, and this is what we can add to very simply. So for example here, we looked at this in the last screencast. Here's a little description of who's in the painting. Okay. Now we can add some description just by inserting some text in there, just the way you would in a regular word processor. So let's say the figure on the left is wearing a fur-lined simar over a sleeveless jerkin with a flat cap. So that's kind of referring to the same data we have in our notes so far. Of course, he's wearing a lot more than that. You could add a lot more into that. But that's all I'm going to do for now. So that gives us a little bit of description. Here, let's save the page and take a look at that. So down here at the bottom, I'm just going to click on Save Page. And now if I scroll down, I should see my data that I've added. Oh, look, there it is, figure on the left. Okay. So now, let's add in a category. We're going to go back to our Edit. Okay, and if we scroll down within this Edit window, you'll see a list of categories. Okay, so that's showing, remember how we saw the categories at the bottom before? This is how they're coded in there. Now you'll also see where it says image note here, that is the code to put our little notes annotated on the image itself. So you see that's actually giving dimensions for your little box that you drew and all of that. Okay. But we want to add a category for jerkin. Now the easiest way, I think, to do this is just to copy. I'm going to copy one of my other categories. Again, just using the same kind of commands you would in a regular word processor. So I was using my Command C to copy it. But now I'm going to delete where it says flat cap, and I'm going to change that to jerkin. Okay. So now that's all set, and again, I can click on Save Page. Let's see if my category is at the bottom. If I scroll down, oh, sure enough, there it is, category jerkin. Now you'll see that it's in red though. The reason it's in red is because I've just added it and I haven't actually set up a page for that category. So if you are adding a new category, this is a little extra step that you need to do to really make it function properly. So I'm going to click on jerkin. Sure enough, it says that there's not yet a category. So I'm going to put some text into a page for this. Basically, by putting any text in here, it's going to create the page. So for example, I could write a short definition of what a jerkin is. Or what's especially helpful is to put it in another category. And here you'll see, since I don't have any text to copy to get my category coding format, you'll see there's actually a little button down here at the bottom that says category. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to kind of automatically put in the right kind of code for me with the brackets. And where the cursor is, I can just enter my category that I want to put this into. So I'm going to put it into 16th century fashion. Okay, and now we'll save page. Okay, so now here's a category set up for jerkin. Here's my one image that so far has been designated as having a jerkin in it, and it's in my 16th century fashion category. So now if I click on 16th century fashion, we'll see that there is now a subcategory for jerkin. Great. So let's go back to our Holbein image. Here we are. So just to review, you've added 3 types of metadata to this. We have notes, which are annotated on the image itself. We have descriptive text under the summary, like that. And we have categories at the bottom. Okay. So that basically sums it up in terms of the how-to. One thing I want to end with is, again, to remind you of this idea of thinking of Wikimedia Commons as a community, and also thinking of being a part of the costume history community on Wikimedia Commons, that you have added your content in, and remember to really think of it as kind of a conversation. You have added some content in, or you will have when you're done with this. Other users may take a look at that, and they may disagree with something that you've put on there. They may think that a term you've used you haven't used properly, or that there's a better term, and then they can go in and add edits to point that out. And the same is true for you. What you might want to do for this assignment, if you come across an image that you find something that another user has identified, an aspect of costume history, and you disagree with their usage, you can add your own content in to have that discussion. So that's something to think about with the use of this resource. Hopefully that gets you started. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact me. I'm really excited to see what you come up with for this assignment. Actually, I'm remembering there's one other thing. Let me go back to our image. There's one other thing that I wanted to show you in terms of how you're going to be graded on this, how we're going to evaluate the work that you did for this assignment. And that's through the contributions page. So now, I'm logged in. If I go to my contributions page up here on the top right, it shows a list of all the different activity, all the different contributions that I've added to Wikimedia Commons. So it's showing that I've created this category. It's showing the different things that I've done. So I added an image note. I created another category back here. So that's the kind of thing. If you once you let us know your username, after the due date, we'll go in and take a look at your contributions. That's something that anyone can look at anyone else's contributions. You'll see through this URL on the top, there's just a contributions page ending with the username. So I'll be able to put in your username and see what your contributions have been, and evaluate what you've done with it. So good luck, have fun, enjoy being a part of this online community. Contact me if you have any questions. And for any other specific notes about this assignment, you can take a look at the assignment page on the Moodle. Thanks very much.